Welcome to the CEO Crowd Show. It is your host and coach, Rebecca Nesbitt here, and this is a special first of its kind show where I hang out with one of our CEO Crowd members. This week features Luvyna Mantle. We get the lowdown on who she is outside of entrepreneurship, her journey so far as a high-level CRM specialist, and we dive deep into the concept of alignment with some real-life examples from both of us. Think of this like the girl chat with your entrepreneur sisters that you have been waiting all week for. Let's get started. So, huge welcome, Luvyna. You are the first CEO Crowd member on the podcast.
How amazing is that? Like, that's so exciting.
I know, I'm like celebrating so hard. I was just saying before we started recording, I've been so excited all morning. I can't concentrate on a single thing. I'm just so excited for you to be here. So, I'm really looking forward to this chat. Oh my.
Yeah, I feel like we always have such great conversations. So I'm super pumped.
Yeah, the world is welcome. The world is welcome. So let's dive straight in because I know you, but for our audience, they may not, unless they are in the CEO Crowd community, they are not going to know you. So outside of entrepreneurship, share with us, what does life look like for you?
Organized chaos. I'm a mom. I have two little boys. So I have a 4-year-old and an almost 2-year-old. So if you're a mom, you get that. If you have boys, you even get that even better. But on top of that, we also co-own a ranch here in Kansas with my parents. So yeah, I have my own business. I have a business with my family, and then I'm raising two little boys. So it's chaos, but it's organized. We try to keep things a little organized.
What you'll learn about Luvyna is that she'll have a system in place. I feel like you have a life system in place as much as business systems for sure. I think this is such an interesting question, and I'm just going to go there because I know that you can handle it. I would really love to know what you do for fun and enjoyment for you.
Well, actually, I'm one of those weird people. I grew up on the ranch, so I love going out and getting outside and getting dirty, which I think is why I love being a boy mom. We spent all weekend last weekend, like in the backyard, tearing up and cleaning out the jungle that was the backyard, making the garden, like finding worms with the kids. That's my fun thing. It's a lot of work, and I realize now saying that's not relaxing. That's work, but it was so relaxing to just get outside and get physical and get dirty and go do things. So that's majority of my fun. Like we're renovating our house right now, and I love it. Like that is mine and my husband's quality time because it's hard to renovate a house with two little kids. So normally they like ship them off to the grandparents for a day so we can like do things. Um, but if I'm not doing that, I love reading. Like I'm a huge book nerd. So I have to be careful with that though, because if I start a book, I cannot put it down, especially if it's good. So I will stay up until like 3 a.m. in the morning reading a book, and it drives my husband batty. And the house could probably be burning down around me, and I'm reading my book, like figure it out.
Mom is not available right now. I am reading the book. I love that. That's such a great introduction to who you are. And I feel like such a kindred spirit. I did not grow up on a ranch, but I live on one now. And there's nothing more powerful than getting outside and being in nature. It's something that like I'm definitely making a conscious effort to do much more. I saw the other day a reel posted by one of my friends. She's also an entrepreneur, and it said, kids on average spend 20 minutes outside a day and 7 hours on their devices. And I was like, oh my gosh, our children. And then I was like, oh my God, this is me. I was like, this is a problem for me as an adult. So I love that you're like, I love just like being outside, being on the ranch, doing things. I think fun work should be a coined term going forward for sure, because I don't think there's very much things that you would do for fun that aren't some variation of work. And even, I mean, reading till 3 o'clock in the morning, the mental capacity that it takes. Before we move on, my husband is an author, so I'm very interested to know like what genre of book you read.
Pretty much anything. The only thing I won't read is like super gory books. I can't do, which is so random because like I mean, you live on a ranch, you know the kind of things that we see. Um, does not bother me in person, but I can't watch it and I can't read it. Like I will throw up.
So
Mm.
interesting.
So that's pretty much the only one I won't read. Um, yeah, I read a large variety because I'm also cheap, so I only buy books on sale or from like hand-me-downs from friends. Um, so yeah, I think it's been a hot minute since I've actually bought a book for full price. So I kind of get a variety that way too. So
I mean, what a cool way to expand your horizons. And also, I feel like you can connect with people over books so well. Like if someone's referred a book to you or given you a book, then there's always like a topic of conversation. But as well, like there ain't nothing wrong with being financially savvy. That's my coin term for cheap. I don't think it's cheap. I genuinely think it's like it's actually it aids connection and it's financially smart, especially if you're renovating your house and you have your business. Like business owners don't have this conversation enough. Like we need to be so conscious of our finances. So I love that you brought that up. Love that.
yeah, and I mean, even like I know they say don't judge a book by its cover, but like when I go to library, I just like walk until I see one that kind of catches my eye and then I read the back and I'm like, oh, this looks okay. So we try it out. Like, I don't know. I'm weird.
I love that. We're all weird in our house, so don't worry about it. Like you're in perfect company. I don't think there's anyone that would ever listen to this that would think that they're normal, and I love that. I'm like, yes, we attract the weird. So on that note of being weird and being different, that's sometimes how people can perceive entrepreneurship as this like very weird, very different way of living. And I think that absolutely that's accurate. And I'd love to know, when did you decide that you wanted to be an entrepreneur? And what has your journey looked like since that moment where you decided?
I don't know that I ever made like the conscious decision to be an entrepreneur. Um, I started as a virtual assistant, and really it was just I was working full time for the Air Force. We were expecting our second kid. Like we knew my husband was about to get out of the army. Um, and my friend kind of like showed me that this was a thing, and I started doing it part time and evenings and weekends because I was like, I want to stockpile. Like we don't know what the future is holding. We have another kid coming. Like I want to stockpile. So that's kind of what I started. Um, and it wasn't anything like I want to have my own business, anything like that. It was literally just like I want to have a stockpile. And then when I went on maternity leave, it was like a huge shocker for me because I realized how much time I was not with my kid. Like he was literally at daycare more than he was with me, and that was not okay. Um, so once again, I don't think it is ever like a conscious decision. It was just like this is not working for the life that we want to have. And I'm not okay, even though like his babysitter, she was amazing. Like we still love her. She's so good. Um, there's nothing against her, but I knew that I wanted to raise my kids and I wanted them to be home with me. And I didn't want to work 12-hour days and not see my kids. Like, that's not, I didn't want to be the mom that came home and was so tired from work that I fed my kids and put them to sleep and didn't get to like enjoy them being a kid. Um, and like, there's nothing wrong with that. If that's you, that's just not who I wanted to personally be with my kids. And like, my mom was a stay-at-home mom. So she I got to experience that with her, and kind of the benefits. But I also knew from not having a job the first year where we were in Germany that I didn't just want to be a stay-at-home mom. Like I get bored easily. I needed something that was my own too. Like I needed something that was not just a mom. Like I needed to be something else too. So I guess it maybe was a conscious decision, but at the time it was like, this isn't working. We need something more, and these are our options. So that's kind of, yeah, I don't know why it doesn't make, I'm a very logical person, so it made no logical sense to quit my job that had healthcare and everything else and to just go full in, but we did, so here we are.
I think that's amazing. And that's something that I've definitely been exploring with a lot of, you've seen, like, we've had a bunch of new members and we've been speaking a lot about alignment in our onboarding calls. And it's like, is what you're doing now, does that align with the future that you want? And I think most of the time we find out, no, it isn't. And then we think, oh, we have to shift and we have to pivot. So I actually love that it was a really logical decision, because I think that also there is this pool of entrepreneurship and personal development that is like, if you were meant to be an entrepreneur, you're going to have this insatiable drive and you're going to be an entrepreneur, and it's in everyone. But like, if you want it, it is there for you and you have to want it. And actually, sometimes like the want of it can be, my life just doesn't work as a 9 to 5. So I need something that suits me better. And I think that we kind of put entrepreneurship on a pedestal sometimes of like, this is like the one way it's done. And I love that you're kind of challenging that narrative with, actually, it can just be like entrepreneurship is more in alignment with what I actually want. And I think that that's what we're probably stepping into now, I believe, with people that have been in personal development and maybe entrepreneurship for a long time, starting to reconsider, like, is this actually going to give me what it is that I want? And I love that you found that. That's really, really powerful. So thank you for sharing the decision, or the transition, maybe is a better word. So I would love to then know, what has your journey looked like since then? So you said you started out as a VA. So tell us a little bit about that and how that's transitioned into what you're doing now.
Yeah, so I had been a VA for probably, I don't know, 6 to 9 months before I went on maternity leave. So I had a little bit of experience under my belt. I had two main clients. I had a couple other small ones that would like occasionally pop in, but I had two ones that were every week. Like I knew what I was doing for them. And kind of right before I had, with my job, I was basically like temporarily taking over for another director when they moved out. So I ended up with a lot, not free time at work, but it was a lot more like free time than I normally had. And my flight chief at the time was like, I literally don't care what you work on. Like, I just need you to be here. And I was like, okay, like I'm fat, I'm pregnant, I was miserable, I don't care. Um, so around that same time, both of the companies that I was working for asked if I would be willing to step into more of an OBM role and kind of oversee like the project management side, the systems. They were working in HubSpot and things like that. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Like I have the capacity right now. Like I knew my husband was going to be home soon. Um, so I knew that like I could take on more work. And then I also knew I had a 3 month maternity leave coming up. So I was like, I can take on more work with that. So I moved into an OBM role for both of them, and I was overseeing all their freelancers. For one was for the marketing team and one was for the sales team. Um, which was actually like at the time I hated it. I hated the sales side of things because I don't like I've never liked sales. Um, but in hindsight, like I got so much experience and knowledge and just seeing the back ends of how these were multi-million-dollar companies. Like one of them was almost like four-figure multi-million-dollar companies. These were massive companies. So I really got to see how huge companies are running things and working in their processes, and able to implement it in my own business and like friends and clients and things like that. So in hindsight, it was actually really good, even though I wasn't a fan of it at the time. Um, and then after my son was born, he was born with some issues. So basically, the first 6 months of his life, all he did was scream at us. Like I was thoroughly convinced he hated me. Loved my husband though, so that was fine. we joke we joke that the oldest is my baby and the youngest is my husband's baby, because our personalities are like very same, and Mav comes straight to me for everything and Ollie's like straight to daddy. So it actually works out kind of perfectly, and it's super, he comes to me for cuddles, but it's nice. Um, but at the time, like I was in meetings multiple times a day, I was in meetings multiple times a week, and it's really, really hard to be in a meeting when you have a newborn baby that never stops screaming and a toddler. Like we had a 2.5, 3 year old and a baby. And I was like, this is not working. Like I'm stressed out. I'm not producing the quality of work that I want to produce. Like my family is suffering. This is not working. And the whole reason I started this was for my family. So that is when I kind of made the pivot to just doing the tech and the business side of things for small entrepreneurs. Um, I saw what Go High Level did with my own business. I saw the difference it made in me being organized, at least like the back end being organized and things like that. And it was just one less thing I had to worry about in a very stressful time of my life. So that's when I made the transition. And once again, it didn't make sense. I was offloading my like 2 huge clients that I knew would give me a paycheck every week. It wasn't working for my family. We knew we had to do something different, and this was just felt right. So I did that, and that's what I've done since. I actually just accepted my first retainer client again since then, almost 2 years ago, in January. So I've just done project-based since then. It's been, for our lifestyle, it's way easier. If I need to rearrange things to go take care of kids or livestock, like I can do that. If I need to build out a platform with a kid on my lap, like I can do that. I have a chair in my office that the 4-year-old comes and sits in and watches me work all the time. So like, it worked way better for our family and our dynamic and where we were. And honestly, I found that that's like, I love managing teams and things and being project management type thing, but being a mom and raising my kids and doing this works a lot better. And I can feel it's way more fulfilling. Like, I don't feel like I'm letting other people down because I can do this at 2 o'clock in the morning if I need to, like, so.
Yeah, that's really powerful because it's like there's fulfillment in the entrepreneurship, but there's also fulfillment in motherhood and how you can live your life the way that you want it. And I think, again, like that comes back to alignment. So I really do feel like alignment is 100% the message of this conversation. And also that sometimes it won't make sense. Like sometimes you'll take a shot in the dark. You're like, it doesn't make sense to offload these clients, but it does in one way. So I think that that's really amazing that you walk through that, and especially walking through that at the same time as becoming a mom for the second time. Like I can't even imagine the hormones like that were coursing through your body, and you still made these like actually very rational decisions based on like who you want to be in the life that you want to lead. So, I mean, I'm very inspired. I'm very impressed. And I would love to hear what it is that you're working on now, because I think we throw around these terms like OBM, online business manager, and, tech support. And I think that means so many different things to so many people. And I think that there's such a crossover. This is so interesting. I spoke to a designer yesterday, but she's a website designer. And we got into this conversation. My sister-in-law is a home interior designer. And I was like, both have the same title, totally different job. Like, I know exactly which one I want for my website and what one I want for my house, and I don't want them to mix. So I think that it's really interesting to then kind of take another level off and think, okay, well, what are you working on right now? And why would someone come to you? Like, what is it that they're experiencing where they need Luvyna in their life?
Yeah, so I kind of already mentioned that I work in Go High Level and systems and things like that. And what I'm currently really focusing on and promoting and working on is my monthly membership. And basically what I discovered from this membership and why this membership even exists is because I did tons of market research in Q4. And I was talking to current clients, past clients, hopping on tons of like networking calls and coffee chats and talking to coaches and entrepreneurs that are using Go High Level. And the one thing that kept like popping up over and over and over again was they love the platform, they love their systems they've set up, but when they need help on one little thing, they can't find the answer. And the thing with Go High Level is you can find information out about Go High Level, but Go High Level sells itself as a white labeled SaaS version. So what that means is it's selling its platform to other like agency level companies or entrepreneurs, coaches, things like that. And they are white labeling it. So they are branding it as their own. They're putting their name on it. And a lot of times the clients that are in their version don't realize that it's Go High Level. So there's education out about, like, I use FG funnels, which is a white label version, and I use them and put most of my clients in them just because they have amazing support. They have amazing education. Like, it's just a really solid company. You can find information about FG funnels. You can find information about high level. A lot of times people don't know they're the same platform. So it's really hard for them to find out, like, how to edit their website, or why is their trigger not working, just things like this. They need somebody they could bounce ideas off of, get feedback on, and things like that. And a lot of times these coaches that are in, not like, they're in this middle one where they've been in business, they're successful, they're kind of happy where they are. A lot of times I'm finding it's like moms, because I'm in the same boat. Like, I could be making way more money than I am now if I wanted to, but I'm content where I'm at currently because this works for my lifestyle, my kids. Now, in another like 3 years, my kids are going to be in school, and I'm going to have a lot more free time during the day. But business owners that are in this kind of middle gap want to know how to use their systems. They don't necessarily want to hire everything out to someone else. Like, they still want to know how to run their back end. They still want to know how to use their systems. Um, so that's why I created this membership, because we have open office hours and we have a community where they can like shoot me their loom or their message, and I can give them a loom back and tell them, okay, your trigger's wrong. Like, that's an easy fix, or this is what I would do, or this is how you edit your funnel, your website, or this is what automation you need, and things like that. Um, Really just being like a low ticket in their back pocket to be there when they need it, so they don't have to spend hours trying to figure it out or search the interweb. Um, so that's what I'm focusing on. It's been really, really fun. I've partnered with several coaches that have their courses inside High Level and are putting their clients in high level. So I've been able to work with a lot of different industries than I normally work with. I just launched We launched a wedding, like a brick and mortar wedding venue last week, which was crazy. Like, never in a million years would have thought that I'd be doing that. But I've been able to work with a lot of different people and coaches and businesses that I probably wouldn't have otherwise, because of this membership and how I've set it up, and kind of how I'm working with some agency accounts. So it's been really fun.
Genius. It's just genius. I love it. I love all of it. Thank you for sharing. I think that that's so powerful. And also, again, it's about alignment. Like, go high level, it works for you now and it will work for you in 3 years. So I loved that through line message, but I also loved the connections that you've made, and also the amount of research that you did, I think is like very insightful, and not what a lot of people are trained to do. Many people think, I'm just going to create this product and I'm going to try and sell it. And if you have an aversion to sales, that will be a problem. But they're like, I think this is good, so I'm going to put it out. Whereas you've gone, I need to know what they think is good. And that's where all of your market research came from. And then also, I need support on the back of that. I need to collaborate with people that are actually using Go High Level, that are putting their clients into it, that are noticing that there is a lack of support there that I could potentially fill with my membership. So I think that that's such a great, product market analysis and fit. It's very inspiring. And I know that you don't like to sell, but I would love to hear why someone would consider Go High Level, because I feel like there are people that have systems that are like, I wish this existed for my system, but it doesn't, and maybe my system isn't functional, or maybe there's not enough support. So why would someone choose Go High Level? Because I feel like that's almost the precursor to work with Luvyna, is to be working in Go High Level. So why would someone choose that in the first place?
Yeah, honestly, if you're paying over $130 a month for your business systems, like to market and run your business on the back end, you need to look at it. Go High Level can almost replace anything you're using. So your website, all your marketing and sales funnels, it can replace your calendar scheduler. It can replace your membership area. So like, I've had a lot of Go High Level just launched a direct integration for Kajabi courses. I've had a ton of coaches. I mean, I have 2 discovery calls today alone from coaches moving from Kajabi to Go High Level, because it looks the same. It's set up the same, at least for the course membership side of things. Um, and it's so much cheaper. I mean, you're paying with the white label version, we're paying $130 a month for unlimited everything. You can have as many domains and websites and funnels and courses as you want inside it. So you also have your blog. It has a scheduler, like a social media scheduler. If you're only doing like Facebook, Instagram, if you're only doing like one of each, it's not bad. Um, like some of the agency accounts I'm in, they're scheduling stories and lots of different options, and it just doesn't work with their workings. But if you're scheduling very minimal, then it's fine. You also have all your email marketing, like you can do your entire email. And I think the biggest thing is all your contacts are right there too. And with all these different pieces that Go High Level has, it has amazing workflows and automation. So everything's connected inside one place. So instead of you having to use like Zaps and or make to connect your email to your Facebook group to your website and like all these different things, everything's housed in one place. So it's just honestly, it saves you a lot of frustration and confusion. You don't have to worry as much about something breaking. I know with Zaps, I feel like they're constantly breaking. Um, and it saves a lot of money. We put together this interactive spreadsheet that like compares all the different things that Go High Level has versus other software you're using and gives you a tally. And you would be blown away on how much like people are spending in monthly subscriptions that you don't even realize, because it's like $5 here, $10 here. Maybe you're paying like 30 or 40 for your website or funnel or something like that. And then once you actually start adding all those up, like they add up fast. Um, so that's probably one of the biggest things is it can eliminate a lot of frustrations. Your automations ability with it, you can automate a lot more manual tasks than a lot of other like Dubsado, Honeybook, Kajabi, things like the other CRMs. So it can just eliminate some of that frustration, save you a lot of money, things like that.
I love how we've come like full circle from the books to Go High Level, where it's like actually be very financially savvy with your business. Like I almost feel like this is like your unsung superhero quality is like consider your finances. I think that's actually really powerful. And I think that's something that more business owners are starting to care about. Everyone's kind of over this like having a very expensive hobby. And they're getting to the point where it's like it's lean down season, essentially because everyone's aware that in America it's an election year, which always has a fluctuation of, stock market prices and all the things, as well as we're just recovering from a downturn. Is there going to be another one? There's all this chat of recession. I think it can be really doom and gloom, but I think the really positive message is it doesn't matter if it's in a down season or if we're in an up season. You should be super streamlined with what you're using. It should be functional. It should be affordable to you as a business owner. And I feel like that's what you're offering people, not only by aligning yourself with Go High Level, but also saying, here's this membership that's like having, a Go High Level expert in your back pocket, because you can't necessarily find all of the answers online. And if you can, you're probably watching like 10 YouTube videos to figure out how to do one little thing, like where is the box that I tick to do this one thing, So I love all of that. And with that, I would love for you to share, because I'm clearly one of your biggest fans, but where can people connect with you, find you online?
Yeah, absolutely. My website is Mantle and Co with an LE, not the German version, American version, which is LE, like Mickey Mantle. You can always find me on Instagram at Mantle and Co. I will respond way faster on Instagram than I will in email. So just know if you email me at info@mantleandco, it's going to take a little bit longer to get a response. If you saw my inbox right now, you would completely and totally understand. But yeah, I'm active on Instagram all the time. So that's the best way. Just DM me, shoot me your questions. Say, hey, watch my stories. I think they're funny, but maybe other people don't. But I post pictures or like videos of my kids doing dumb things and baby calves, because we have tons of baby calves dropping right now. So if you want farm pics, stay tuned. But yeah, Instagram's the best place.
I agree. I feel like your email is the organized chaos of which you spoke at the beginning, and we're having calving season 2, so it's a lot of fun, a few vet visits and a little bit of drama, but it's interesting, and I love that that's how people can connect with you. Before we sign off, I would love to hear if there's any reflections that you have from this conversation or any messages that you want to pass on to anyone that's maybe interested in working with you or connecting with you further.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is like looking at, like we said, alignment seems to be this entire thing. And it's not just a one-time deal, right? Like I find that I constantly have to kind of stop and look at my business and look at the family and see where we're at. So it seems to be like for me, about every 6 months, we're like, okay, is this working for us? And if it's working for us now, that's awesome. Is it going to continue working for us in the future? Like, I mean, life's very unexpected, especially with kids and a ranch and things like that. But like we know that in December, my husband graduates from college and is going to be working a real job and not home all the time. So like, okay, what pivots can we start making now? Because we also know it's going to take like 4 to 6 months for things to really start shifting in our business if we start now. Um, so that's one of my probably biggest tips is just to kind of occasionally like step back and look and actually see, are you in alignment with your business? Is your business doing what you originally got in here for? Like I know that my priority is my family. If my business is in the way of that, then what can we shift and kind of make things work a little bit better for that? um it's hard, like it's not easy and you have to make some really hard decisions, but you also see the results of those, and a lot of times they're on the better end of side of things. So
That's fantastic advice. I couldn't have said it better myself. I feel like I resonated with a lot of it. My husband is also in school, so we pivoted our business for the exact same reason. And it does, like at the beginning, it's so hard, and you're like, oh, I don't know if the decision I'm making is the right decision, and why did I do this? And there's all of that kind of like nervited energy because you're nervous about it, but you're also excited about the potential. And I definitely feel like that's accurate. It always works out better than I think it's going to. And then I'm always surprised, which isn't a
yeah.
bad thing. Not a bad thing. So grateful for your time today, Luvyna. Thank you so much. You've been a fabulous first guest from the CEO Crowd membership. So if you are in a situation like Luvyna was when she came to us at the CEO Crowd looking for more connections and more networking, co-working, opportunities to be featured, then definitely check us out at the CEO Crowd. All of everyone's links are in the description, so you can check them out there. And until next time, we will both, Luvyna and I, as well as the CEO Crowd, be over here believing in you.